For some reason, there's a stigma, a terrible stigma that would have you believing that dating after 40 comes with limitations of choices and lowered standards. But we're not having that ish. Whether you're hitting the streets after reading a after ending, sorry about that, long-term relationship, got me all hot and bothered here, becoming an empty nester, or just haven't had the best time finding what you're looking for, your favorite ladies are here to help you navigate the wonderful world of post-pandemic online dating. That was a mouthful, wasn't it?
So welcome.
Hey, everybody.
For Freaky Girls Podcast, episode 11, Tinder after 40.
Can you believe that episode 11?
I can't,
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. It's crazy. I remember when this was just talking on the phone call, a group call, just randomly hey,
right.
Let's do a podcast. Okay.
I can't wait till we get to 100. That's going to be crazy.
We didn't know what the hell we were setting ourselves up for, did we?
I'm here for all the shits. All of the shits. Okay. Right. So, let me get myself organized for a second. I do apologize.
No problem.
I am really excited about this episode.
I know.
That's because you got stories to tell, and it's always good. Always good when you got stories to tell. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into it. So the first topic on the list is dating app basics. So we're going to review the do's and don'ts for creating a foolproof profile and most common practices for a safe and stress-free meetup. Tongue-tied today. That's all good. So.
You want to know what makes it stress-free? Don't go.
I thought you was going to say getting the D. That's always stressful there.
That makes it worth it.
Right. So I have some do's and don'ts. I'm actively in this right now. I'm the single one of the group. And I am in the trenches right now with this online app dating. And I was very anti dating app. So I'm I don't want that to be my story. I don't want that to be a part of my love story of, I find my someone and people oh, how did you guys meet? I always wanted the cute, we met through a friend of a friend at a party or, something like that. Never wanted I swiped right, nobody wants, that's not romantic. But, we are in the times of technology. So, and people are, this is just the way people meet now. Yeah, this is just the way it's happening. This is the way people meet. Everybody's busy and, living their lives and things, and everybody's on their phones. We all have smartphones, so everybody's always on their phone. So this is probably the easiest way to meet people. But by being in the trenches and observing things on apps, I have a few do's and don'ts. My personal one. You ladies can chime in, wherever. But my personal do's and don'ts for your profile. This actually applies to both women and men. My first do is have recent pictures. Please have recent pictures. You do not look like you did 15 years ago. You shouldn't have any pictures from high school at this point. We over 40. No pictures from high school. Huh? Yes, I have that.
You wouldn't believe what people do.
People if they're in the, if they've been in the armed services, they'll put their enrollment pictures up there that was 20 years ago. You don't look like that anymore.
Or they'll have somebody shoot their pictures from below so they look taller.
Oh, that's one of my don'ts.
Catfish.
That's one of my don'ts. But yeah, so do put recent pictures. I mean, recent as if in like the last year, preferably the last couple of months. But because I know we've all gained, that pandemic weight. Okay, but have some recent pictures because people be feeling catfished out here when you finally meet in person, like
right.
So, another do I would say is do as far as like your little blurb about yourself, like say what you like more than what you don't like. Like be positive in your profile. Like a lot of people like, if you just want me for money, you might as well swipe left. If you want this and that, and I'm like, it's just like it comes off so like you're just a negative person.
Do people really say that?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Like they'll say things.
Like if you're a gold digger, swipe left.
If you're not fit.
Yeah. That.
In other words, yeah, if you're a thick girl, don't bother.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I've even seen like people say if you're black, if you're, white, don't, swipe left.
Yeah.
And it's like the opposite race. Like, yeah.
How rude.
Yeah, it's very
now,
rude.
The ones I don't think are rude, especially from the men, are when, it's a black male and he says, I prefer my women melanin. I don't see that anything wrong with that at all. It's what you prefer.
Right.
But when you get down to
spin, it's not don't be this, don't be
right,
that. You know what I mean? Like this is what he's saying he prefers.
Right.
So
I prefer, but don't swipe. If you're not this, just swipe left. And yeah.
So
there's a lot of that goes on.
It's like the audacity of people. So like really,
it's like, first of all, what's your idea of fit? Because I'm a thick girl, and I guarantee you, I can lay down and put my foot over my head better than you can.
I love.
I can put my foot over my head.
Don't let
you already do better than me.
It's like, don't try me on that fit thing, because we're gonna see who's gonna last longer.
Well, I said, don't let the smooth taste fool you.
That's right. 2-minute Charlie be trying to play up his game,
2-minute Charlie. I know that's right.
You better be in 4-hour fit for me, because that commercial where they say if it ain't going down in 4 hours, call the doctor.
Right.
Hell no, we're not. We're trying for hour 5.
Oh my gosh. That's a whole lot of
you're
work.
in pain.
So anyhow, since Francine went off the rails.
Unless you're in pain, we keeping it going. No. So let me see what another do. Because I don't want to start off negative. Another do is have, as far as your pictures, have pictures. And I'll put this more towards the men, because a lot of the women already do this. But for men, do put up a picture of you smiling. Don't mean mug in every picture. Like, I don't know if you try to look masculine and hard and, whatever, but smile. Smile in your pictures. Mostly because, honestly, we want to see your teeth. We want to see.
Honey, listen, yes. That China cabinet.
We want to see
that. That China cabinet better be right, or else.
Some people like a snaggle too. So if that's you, then that's cool. But we want to see a smile. Some of my don'ts, and this is a personal one for me. Some of our viewers might not agree, but this is a personal one for me. Please don't put pictures with you and your kids in it. I'm not trying to date your child.
Your mom, your sister. Your dogs is okay.
Like, I don't need to see your children. If you put on your profile that you have children, I believe you. Right. I believe you. I don't need to see them in your pictures.
Do that. Please.
Because and I say that one because it's just it's a put off, like a turn off, not necessarily a turn off, because I don't want people to think that's the turn off for you to have kids. That's not it. The turn off is like, I'm trying to get to know you. I want to see you. Not, yes, okay, I know some people think, oh, well, that's just to show that, I'm family oriented. Like I said, that all comes in conversation, getting to know you, all of that. I don't need to see it in your profile. This is a dating profile. I'm not dating your kids. But the other reason I would say that, there's some perverts out here.
Man, listen, I was just going to say, you don't know who's on them internet waves, man, looking at your people. Like, they don't need to see all that. That's TMI.
Exactly.
Right. I mean, if the first question out of a dude's mouth is, do you have kids? I'm like, bye.
Like, no, I had a dude one time. He asked me if I had kids. I said no. He had 8 and had the audacity to ask me if I wanted to have more with him. I said, no, sir. Absolutely not.
Wow.
You already have 8. I'm good. Even if I wanted kids, absolutely not.
Just curious, just out of curiosity, by how many people? Was it 8 with one person?
No, it was, I think it wasn't as many as you would think. I think it was only like maybe 3. So, I mean, 8 to 3, that ratio's not too bad.
But for me personally, like that to me, I feel like you're doing a whole lot. Or you real free. You know what I'm saying? Like to have 8 kids with 3 different women.
I want to know how close in ages those kids are.
I know there were a couple of them that were grown. Most of them were teens, preteens, but he had some little ones.
But do any of those
the last few were like still like at least in elementary?
I want to know if those ages overlap anywhere.
Right. Right. He had a very busy year one year.
So I got an 8-year-old with her and a 7.5-year-old with her. Where were you for the other one?
Yep.
Right.
It happens.
But yeah.
Like that.
But there's a lot of men that'll put themselves with their kids on there.
Yeah, I don't it's not appealing to me.
It's not.
Like I said, I believe you because most profiles, most dating apps, that in the profile, it asks you if you have kids and want more, have kids and don't want more, don't have kids and don't want, like it has that option.
Okay.
So you can state that you have kids. Again, we believe you. You don't need to put them in your profile. Even with them, so a lot of people, because I think they're aware that there are perverts out here, they'll put like emojis, or like scratch out the face, of the kid or cover their face, which is good. That's a step in the right direction. But take some new pictures. Just take some new pictures.
Selfies are in.
Yourself.
Selfies are in.
Selfies are in.
And give us different poses. Like, I don't want all these thirsty pics. I want to see what you look like. Like, if I'm going to go out, if I'm going to meet you for lunch or dinner, I want to see what you dress like. Yeah. Because I'm not showing up with you have some raggedy old t-shirt, and.
Yeah, that's another do for me. Do take selfies and full body pictures.
Yes.
And that's for both men and women. Because, take full body pictures and put a couple of them up there, full body pictures. And, of course, close up pictures. But
see, on mine, I didn't have a picture of my face.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have a pure of my face on mine.
Yeah.
What was the picture of then?
No. Well, it's just no nudity, but like my legs crossed in the bathtub and there was candles and stuff like that. I just don't want to show my face because of the business that I'm in. Right. And I also found one of my ex-husbands on there too. So
yeah, I would just swipe left.
Yeah. So I was like, swipe left. Well, maybe I should have swiped right because my name is not the same on there either. So I could have messed with him, but I didn't.
No,
I swipe left.
there are people who are on dating apps who, want to be discreet.
Right.
So, yeah.
And it's like, I wasn't looking to hook up with you to like meet your mom and dad and go on vacations with you and stuff.
Yeah, that's why I say about in your little blurb, put what you're looking for.
Right.
If you're just looking to hook up, and that goes for both as well, like men and women. Because there's some women on there that they just want to hook up. They don't want a relationship. I think sometimes men think that women who are on dating apps all automatically want a relationship. Right. So that kind of calls for them to put on their profile, not looking for anything serious, yada, yada, yada. Like, not everybody is. So, some women are just looking for something casual as well. But, okay, one of my other notes, and I'm going to have to move the camera a little. I think we said it. The whole angle of your picture. And I will offer this service to men. Actually, and some women. It depends. If you need help with your profile, for a small fee, I will help you perfect your profile. I've been in this game long enough to know what a good profile looks like. So, for a small fee, I will help you, get your profile together. But again, the whole angle of the picture, and I'm going to show you an example. Hold on.
Maya, the side hustler.
So, right. This picture. Stop taking this picture. Stop. Stop doing it. Stop. Like, you looking down at the camera like that. I can see all up your nose.
I want to see up your nose. No.
Hey, stop. Stop doing that. But yeah, like that angle is not flattering for anybody.
And the other one is with men. You're always sitting like this and you got one hand in your crotch.
Yes. And the hats. Stop taking pictures with just hats on. We know you balding, honey. Take it off. We over 40. Take it off.
Just show it. Just go ahead and show it. Put it out there. Just put it out there.
I love me a good smooth bald head. Take the hat off.
We know you're losing it. It's okay. It's okay.
That's out there with it now.
Don't be afraid to show the full length pictures. I don't give a damn if you got a dad bod. What are you going to do when we meet? How you going to hide
it? Exactly. So, but those are some of my do's and don'ts. So, but as far as that's just your profile. We'll talk about, I guess, Fran, I think you had something about as far as the meet, actually, when you get to that point.
Oh, yeah. I would never meet anyone unless I either had a friend going with me or had a friend on the phone, not while I was talking to her, but on the phone on me so she could hear the conversation and know where I was and who I was with. Like, I would wait outside until I seen them walk in. I'd take pictures of their license plates and text them to my friends. Yeah. And, on the DL, get a picture of them. I mean, I'm a safety girl. So. Right.
Yeah. I'm
always
definitely
public spot.
Yeah, I'm definitely that. Like, there's at least 3 people that know where I'm going. Mm-hmm. I text them when I get there. I text them when I leave. I send them a picture of the person I'm meeting. They have all the information, first and last names, all the information. So safety is definitely, because you run into that even if you meet somebody in person. You just don't know about people.
Right.
So you want to
be careful. Be careful when you start talking to them and they're wanting you to start texting them. They're wanting to get your number. Right. Because they can look up and see where you live. Yeah. Trust me, I know the tricks. I've looked up quite a few of them.
I'm not gonna lie. I do that. There's not necessarily to see where you live, but before I meet up with you, I'm gonna do a little background. Right. Like, I'm gonna do a little, so sleuthing. Yes, I'm going to figure out.
Y'all remember the story of the Dom, right? Remember the Dom?
Yeah.
The Dominican?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. So we talked for a while and then we decided to meet for a couple drinks, right? And he had been telling me all along, oh, we're in an open relationship. If you want to talk to her, she can tell you, blah, 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 this and that. And I was like, okay. But every time I wanted to talk to her, she was busy. Well, the night that we went out and had these drinks, I found out his real last name and looked him up online, found out where he lived, pictures of his family, where he worked, his work number. I could have left him voicemails. I don't play.
All right.
So when I confronted him with, does your wife really know that you're out looking or whatever? He started like making up excuses and stuff. So I finally hit it. I sent him a couple pictures of his wife and his kids one day through the messaging service we were talking through. And I said, look, leave me alone. You're obviously not being honest and I'm not interested. Right. Contact me again. And I'll just come over, and I put his address, and have a talk with your wife.
Right.
I wouldn't have done it, but
and that's the thing. Just be honest. Yeah, because he doesn't know. He doesn't know that if he would have just been upfront and honest, like, hey, you
could have got some booty. Who knows? Who knows?
Like, some people are okay with that.
Right.
Some people aren't, but some people are okay with, as long as you're honest. Like, look, I'm stepping out on my person. I'm just trying to have a little fun. Right. Are you down or are you not? Like, be honest. Stop assuming. About it.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing that gets me the most about really in any situation. Like, if you just stop taking away my choice, like that's what you're doing essentially. Right. When you're not being honest, you're taking away my choice to be like, I can't fuck with you on that. Exactly. But good luck. But you never know, you know what I'm saying? You automatically assume that I'm going to be like, nah, I pass. Right. I'm just like, okay, let's get it popping. I mean, you just never know. So it's like, if you got to be doing all that, then nah.
Right. Remember Springfield Boy?
Vaguely.
I thought dude was like 6 foot tall, right? Because he was one of those that was always getting his picture shot up like Maya was showing. It made him look taller.
The Amazon dude?
No.
Oh, okay.
This is the dude I went to meet. This is the dude I went to meet. And when I met him, he ended up only being like 5'3", and he was missing his right hand. And he had never told me about that. Now, I would not have judged him had he been honest with me and said, hey, I was born with a birth defect. I don't have a right hand. And when I asked how tall you were, what?
I said, that's something you need to know.
Right. You don't want to just walk up on me like a dude I thought was like 6 foot tall because you're shooting all your pictures from up.
Right.
And being 5'3" against 6 foot is already bad enough. But now you coming at me and you're missing your hand. You didn't think you should have told me that before we met.
Right. Right.
And it's not even about him not having the hand. It's the dishonesty. What else are you lying to me about?
Yeah,
exactly.
So I'm big on just being yourself and being honest with it. Even if you think it's going to hurt my feelings. Like if we meet and I'm not your type, just let me know.
Yeah. See, that's one of the biggest risks of online dating and, app dating is because, like we all know, actually my pastor used to call it Facebook. Facebook and Insta lives, so, people put personas up online. Mm-hmm. But for me, it's like, if you're going online dating, you can't put because if you're planning to meet this person eventually, like and meet in person or even talk on the phone, like you have to be honest. Like you just have to be upfront and honest. Like you can't show your quote unquote representative. You just have to be honest. So I don't like that where people, just be upfront. Like what was it? Gucci said, girls are like buses. Miss one, next 15 more coming. So there's plenty of people.
Yes.
Plenty of people.
I suppose. And that's actually an excellent segue into our next topic because I feel like that's where we approach it. So we need to go ahead and go there. So topic 2 is the good, the bad, and the catfished. We're sharing our stories along with viewer submissions to give you examples of how online dating can go right and what to do if it goes completely left. So, so the story, I have a couple, but one I can think of off the top of my head. I won't give any names or anything, but I know someone who met someone. They ended up getting married, and then she found out that everything that he said was a lie.
See?
Everything.
I'd be in an orange jumpsuit.
Everything. Everything was a lie, and it was all bad, like super all bad, because now they're in the process of getting a divorce. But she was able, like, to the point where he was lying and telling her that his family members did not like her, right, so that she would not go try to forge a relationship with them and find out everything that he was lying about.
Right. Yeah. I've known someone that same similar scenario where they didn't, like, they told what they thought was a small lie in the beginning, but had to keep building on that lie, and building until, like, they couldn't lie anymore, and it caught up with them, and
and it all came tumbling down. Okay, so who wants to tell the first story?
Go ahead, Maya.
Y'all want? I mean, I've had some success, and I've had some not so much success. So I'll tell you. So one, I felt like I've never gotten catfished as far as, like, looks. Okay. Everybody that I've ended up meeting up with, they looked, like their profiles and everything. Some might have been a little shorter than I, anticipated, but not too much or, like, drastically like the 5'3" dude. But so one time I got catfished with a person who told me they were from Florida, but ended up not being. They might have been from Florida, but by way of a foreign country. So I met up with this guy, and I made the mistake. Most of the time, I'll talk on the phone with somebody because I have this weird thing, and somebody else, our viewers might have this thing. I have this weird thing of, I need to hear your voice because I need to make sure your voice matches up with how you look. Like, because I have ran into some people who, I usually like them tall, 6 foot or more. I've kind of been lenient sometimes, as far as that. But, if they really had a nice personality and, look good, I'll let you sneak to like 5'10", 5'11". But I knew a guy who he was at least 6'3", 350. I like him big, like the big teddy bears,
Me too.
And he sound like this.
Was his name Mike Tyson?
Check me out. He had absolutely no bass in his voice, and it just didn't match up. His voice did not match his body, and I couldn't get over it. He was a very handsome person. He had a nice personality. Couldn't get over the voice. I couldn't get past it.
Yeah.
It might be shallow of me. I just couldn't get past it.
That's not shallow.
Not at all.
Go ahead.
So, but the dude, so I met up with this dude. I hadn't talked to him on the phone. So first strike was we had set a time to, meet, and then he called and asked if we could postpone it for like an hour or 2 hours later. So No,
he was trying to work on that bass.
No, that wasn't the first strike. The first strike was he asked me out, but I still had to plan the date. That was the first strike.
Yeah, honey.
I had to plan where we was going. So,
Okay.
yeah, so I picked Johnson's ice cream just because, you know, it was something quick. It wasn't, you know, it was something very casual. So that was the first strike. Second strike was we picked the time that we were going to meet. He was almost 30 minutes late. So without any communication, like nothing, I was about to leave.
Yeah, I would have left.
So then I really wanted my Johnson's ice cream.
It is good. Shout out to Johnson's. It is good.
But so then he got there and he's like, he said something to me and I didn't really, you know, catch what he said. And so I just thought he was like a mumbler, you know, some, you know, people just mumble. So we went in, we're standing in line. He said something else. Really, I didn't catch it again. And I just, you know, thought it was just, there's a lot of people in there. Finally, we get our ice cream, we sit down. He says something else. And this is, I mean, it's just me and him. And I still can't understand you. So then I was like, where are you from? And he just started laughing. And I'm like, I'm not laughing.
That was a joke?
Like, where are you from? And then he says, I can't even remember the country. It was West African country. And I was like, you told me you were from Florida. And so, and not that it was a huge deal, but just be honest. Like, don't tell me you're from Florida. You're not from Florida. You lived in Florida for 2 months before, you know, you moved up here. You're not from Florida. You aren't born and raised there. Like, just say, and I've run into that with foreign men where they don't want to say that they're from, you know, where they're from. So the biggest issue I had is because his accent was so thick. I spent the whole day saying, I'm sorry, what'd you say? I'm sorry, what'd you say? Like,
no,
and that's
that would get
a
aggravating.
turn off to me. So, what's good over there, friend?
Sorry, real life interrupts sometimes.
Right. So that was just a big turn off to me. And I'm a blunt person. You know, that's the Sagittarius in me. I'm just a blunt person. So, like, he had made a comment of, you know, so should I still, you know, keep looking online? I said, absolutely. Absolutely.
Hey,
He was like, you know, are we going to do this again? Absolutely not. No, we're not. Like, because I just didn't. I wasn't for the shits. I just wasn't for the shits. And I didn't want to spend most of the time saying, I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Yeah.
I didn't. So I felt like I got catfished in that sense, where you weren't being truthful about who you were. Like, be proud of where you're from. If you're from a foreign country, like, be proud of that. Tell people where you're from. There are some women who are looking for that particularly. Mm-hmm. So just do it. But a success story, I mean, my ex, him and I met on Tinder. It was a success up until he dumped me. So, I mean, I thought it was a successful relationship up until he dumped me.
Was it successful or was it successful?
So that wasn't like, that was the thing. It wasn't like that was what the focus was on. Like, we went on a first date, we went on a second and a third. Mm-hmm. Like, we dated, you know, so it wasn't about just sex. Like, and then it was almost one of those things where, you know, we went on a date and then we were just with each other from then on. You know what I mean? So that was, I guess you can count that as a success. We just weren't for each other. You know, I'll just put it to that. Like, after, you know, everything, it's just, we weren't right for each other. So.
But you did give it a try.
Well, yeah. So I will say, you know, there can be success successful, things that come out of it. I have, friends. I had, one friend, actually one of our viewers, she's a friend of mine. She had a success story. He slid into her DMs, her IG DMs, and kept it friendly for a few months, sending pictures and memes and, just back and forth and everything. They finally asked her out. They dated for a while. And now in October, I think October 1st, they celebrate their 1-year wedding anniversary.
Wow.
Right.
So,
awesome.
Yeah, there can be some, and they're an awesome couple. They are a very, like, an awesome couple. Like, they, if you're looking for love, like, their story, like, yeah, they're an awesome couple. So, but
you know what? A lot of people don't know this, but technically mine would be a successful online dating story too.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of people don't know this. But when me and my fiance met, like, we met on Yahoo, in the Yahoo chat room. And
I remember those.
I'm dating myself, okay? Like, Yahoo chat room circa 99.
What about AOL?
Right.
No, I always met trash on AOL. But okay, so normally I would go to Excite. And if you're 40 and up, then you remember Excite. Okay. If you're not 40 and up and you're watching this, it was a search engine like Yahoo and Google. Right. Back then, Google was competing just like everybody else. Mm-hmm. I guess technically Google didn't have chat and stuff though, right? Like, these were when, you had actual chat rooms, like, that you would log on to, like, Yahoo or Excite or whatever, or AOL, and then go into the chat room. So Excite wasn't working that night. Me and my homegirl were in her dorm. This was our freshman year of college up at UC. Shout out to Janine, my Gina, my dog. Anyway, so yeah, we didn't go home. I didn't come back here for the weekend. And normally on the weekends, I would just shoot back to Columbus. We were in Cincinnati. But we were like, we ain't got nothing to do. Let's go on downstairs, and go to the little room or whatever where they had the computer lab set up. Hopped on, and Excite wasn't working. And I was just like, what the hell is going on? But she would get on Yahoo all the time. She's like, girl, just get on Yahoo and blah, blah, blah. So I get on Yahoo, and the moment I get into the chat room, I see on the screen, it says, such and such, I'm from Columbus. And I was like, who's from Columbus? And he was like, I am. I was like, oh, me too. And so I found out later on that he was actually talking to another girl in a private message. And then he stopped talking to her and started talking to me. And we talked like all night. Oh, and then come to find out, he was living in the dorm room like 3 doors down from my cousin.
What?
At Wright State. So when she, he told her, like, yeah, I was talking to your cousin, blah, 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 blah. He's like, she's so deep. I was cracking up laughing. And here we are all these years later. Yes. So, like, it definitely works. Most people, when they ask how we met, we just tell them, we met through a mutual friend or, whatever. And I don't really know why. I think it's because we just don't feel like explaining, like, the whole thing. But yeah, we actually met in a chat room back in late 90s.
Right. So, yeah, I used to talk to people all the time in Black Planet chat room.
Oh, slutpuppy.com. That's what I used to call it.
Slutpuppy.com.
Hell yeah, man. Slutpuppy.com. It was always people trying to, hop into your inbox, talk about what's up with you, what's up, blah, 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 blah. Right. And, yeah, it was crazy. Like, Black Planet.
What you doing later?
Huh?
What you doing later?
Right.
Yeah, just, Black Planet went hard. I mean, shout out to Black Planet because it was that. But that shit went hard. I'm like, I know it was a few relationships that got broken up on because of Black Planet. They went crazy on there. But okay, Francine, do you have anything you want to? You have a story you want to add before I tell this crazy story? I got a viewer submission.
God, I have so many.
Of course you do.
Okay, so here's one. So I was talking to this guy from Dayton or Springfield, something like that, right? And he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm looking for this and I'm looking for that." And I was like, "Okay, well, we can talk. I'm not really looking for half or more of what you're looking for, but maybe we can be like that bridge in between, whatever." So we ended up meeting at a park. And why was there it must have been a park rangers convention that day, because there was 30 freaking either park rangers and or sheriff department, sheriffs or whatever. It was loaded with
body or something.
I don't know. We're sitting on the speaker table. I'm like, I wonder if they're looking for the dude I'm with or something, So I'm on the slide, I'm on the phone and I'm talking to my friend and I'm like, hold on, one of my kids is texting me. He didn't know my kids was grown and out of the house. I said, hold on, one of my kids is texting me. I'm like, oh, I gotta go. He's like, is everything okay? I'm like, oh, I'm sure to wait, but I've got to go right now because my son needs me really bad. And I kept looking at the phone like that, yeah, I got to roll. I'm really sorry. I apologize, blah, blah, blah. Girl, just as soon as I got home, I blocked him on everywhere. Block. Because I didn't
just give off creep vibes.
I was so creeped out.
Oh.
With all those damn park rangers and cops being there. And this just happened to be where he wanted to meet. I'm like,
did you think he was part of a drug bust or something?
Right. I had no idea and wasn't taking no chances and wasn't sticking around to see.
Right. Oh, man. She was like, listen.
That's why you always let your homegirl know where you're at. Always know where you're at.
Now, I've had some successful, hookups.
I ain't had no successful hookups.
Straight hookups. I met, if y'all remember a few episodes ago, Unicorn Dick. I met him
yes.
I met him on an app, so that was a success as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, one of mine research too.
You are funny. Oh man, that's crazy.
I don't go hard. Maya goes hard.
It's almost like another job. Online dating is like a part-time freaking job. It really is.
But it's feeling so more empowered in this day and age. We're ready to take back what we should have been getting all along.
Right.
And I think online dating gives us that start of getting that power. And, it just depends on how far you want to take it. Like we were talking about, some women are just getting on there going, look, I just want to wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. See you next time.
Right.
Some women are coming out.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
If you're not looking for a long-term relationship, wedding, kids, some women get that. Some people get that specific.
Yeah.
But, we feel more empowered now.
Right. I saw a video. I meant to send it to y'all. There was this guy talking about how he had met up with this girl and he was like, what did he say? He said that she was something about either she was going to cook or she, what was it? Oh, no. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm fucking up the whole party before it starts. Okay. Take two, action. Okay. So this is what it was. So that he was talking about, I think one of them shows on Hulu, like Game of Thrones or something like that. Something that it was a show. I don't remember which show. And she was like, oh, yeah, I like that too, blah, blah, blah. He was like, oh, okay, well, maybe we should, hook up sometime. She's like, yeah, come through. We can watch it, blah, blah, blah. So he said, cool. So he gets over there and he looking and he was like, man, she had the music playing. She had the candles. She had all of this stuff. And he said, I was just looking like, what? What happened? And he was like, okay, so we're supposed to be watching, what's good? And she was like, oh, I don't even have Hulu. I'm just trying to get it popping. She was just trying to get it popping. She was like, yeah, okay, ain't no Hulu and chill. We just gonna skip the Hulu part and we gonna chill. But he was acting as if he was turned off by that. And it just tickles my soul how, guys, it seems like we're seeing more and more videos of guys who are like, yeah, these girls out here are just real aggressive. It's
forward.
But if you think about it, one, you can't be a slut puppy by yourself. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not shaming anyone because really, I don't feel like anybody is a slut or a hoe. You know what I'm saying? Right. Let me just put that out there. I feel like that is a term that people just use, you know, to make people feel shameful because they don't live a lifestyle that's conducive to what whoever the person is that's judging them, right?
Right.
You know,
Agreed.
Like you can't hook up unless you hooking up with yourself. You know what I'm saying? So if she's a hoe, then you're a hoe too.
Then you're a hoe too.
We hoes act together. I just think that like in all of these years, especially music in the 90s, y'all know, as good as our music was in the 90s, it was hella misogynistic. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, to the point where a lot of times we were just like, shit, he ain't talking about me. You know what I'm saying? Just so we could like dismiss the fucked up stuff that he was saying in the song.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because the beat was so hard and you didn't want to not to it.
Right.
So like, it just tickles me. It's like all of these years, you know, songs have been like that. You know what I'm saying? And then even the stuff you hear on the radio now, she busted open. Right. You know what I'm saying? Bust it open, bust it open, bust it open, bust it open. Eventually, you know, the women are going to be like, yeah, okay, so drop them draws. And like, we can skip all of the fluff, you know what I'm saying, and the bullshit. Like, let's just get straight to it. Why is that a turnoff for you? When that's what you want. You know what I'm saying? Like,
they think it emasculates them. Yeah, they want the control.
Yeah. Honey, bye. Anyway, so back to what we was talking about. Sorry, we kind of went off a little bit, but I mean, it's definitely, I feel like that's definitely a big part of the reason why, if there is any shame, you know, in a woman, especially a woman who is 40 and up, you know, dating because of some of the, you know, ideas and, you know, stigmas that we dealt with, you know, in our younger years coming up,
right?
You know, like, from the 90s and like behind the 90s, it just wasn't free like this. I remember in college, people was still scared to say that they was sucking dick.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But were you still doing it? You know what I'm saying? But if you talked about it, like you was only talking to your homegirls about it, like you was not talking about it openly.
Right.
So I'm just like,
I think now you got the ladies out here singing about how good they are at it. Hey,
so I just feel like, you know, if there is, you know, any reason, you know what I mean, again, that, you know, women may feel ashamed or may not want to tell everybody that they're into online dating, that would be the reason right there. Right. Even though, girl, you better tell them what the hell you want. Drop them damn draws, have them off when I get there, and let's get it on.
Yes. I don't understand why in today's world so many women, even my age, are embarrassed of online dating, and they shouldn't be. It's like, go find what you need or desire, you know, follow safety protocols, be honest, like we talked about, you know, just state what you're looking for. Don't state you just looking for some booty when you want a husband and a ring.
Right.
You know, and just be careful. But there's no reason why you, as an adult, cannot go out and find your pleasure however and wherever and whenever you want it and need it.
It's like, it's just the opposite. Like, even if you're just going out and you just want, you know, to find, you know, a sneaky link or, you know, cuddle buddy, whatever you want to call them. Just the opposite. If you have standards and you want to find, you know, not to say that the women don't have standards. Sometimes I'm looking for that and I have standards. Like, I have standards for my sneaky links. So you got to meet certain criteria. But for those women who are looking for love, you know, there's no shame in if you find it online. There's absolutely no shame. You just have to know exactly. You have to know what you're looking for, because you'll only run into frustrating situations and, you know, dud after dud after dud if you're not honest with yourself of what you're looking for. Like, you don't have to settle just because it's online dating.
No, you don't. Yeah.
Being honest helps you. Being honest and forthcoming helps you to filter out all of the people that you don't want.
Right. Exactly. And plus, you can do it like hell. I can be going through these apps while I'm taking a piss.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
You know, in today's world, we don't have a lot of time like we used to when we were younger. Most women are having to work some 2 and 3 jobs just to raise their families. But that doesn't mean that they should have to do without companionship. you know, they still want companionship. So no shame.
I have on my profile now that I'm poly. That eliminates people who are into that lifestyle. It's going to eliminate, so I don't have to do it myself.
Yeah.
You know, there's some people who inquire, like, what's that? And once I tell them, they eliminate themselves. You know, so.
I'm like, take your empowerment and get what you want.
Right.
Absolutely. Because, I mean, especially if you're 40 and up, because, I mean, you know, it's not like you starting at the beginning when you're in your 20s and you feel like you got all the time in the world. I mean, I'm not saying, you know, like, oh, we getting old or nothing like that. But I'm just saying, like, at this point in your life, like, you're a little more seasoned. You've experienced some shit. Mm-hmm. So I don't know about y'all. Well, I do know about y'all because we think alike in a lot of ways. But, you know, I mean, for our audience members, you know, listen, I don't have time for all of that. So I'm glad I'm in a relationship because, you know, we just have an understanding about things. But if I was dating, like, I wouldn't have time for none of that bullshit.
I mean, the dating pool definitely has pee and poop in it. It does.
And a post-pandemic. So it really got real after the pandemic.
A very long time.
Oh, the dating apps during the pandemic, especially like 6 to 8 months into it, were on fire. Like, dudes were looking to hook up with because there was hardly anybody hooking up. So whoever they could find, they didn't care if he was big, little, tall, short. They was just dying to hook up, it seemed, because I had so many hits in my inboxes. It was unreal.
Yeah. Like, I don't care what you kind of out of that. A lot of people appreciated people just for people, not necessarily body type. Like, there's this like big girl movement now where all these guys all of a sudden love, you know, big girls, or not even necessarily all of a sudden, because they've always loved us, but they're more vocal about it now.
Out loud.
They're out loud about it and no shame about it now.
I had a dude one time tell me I wasn't thick enough for him. I was like, woo, thank you for that. I'm not mad at you at all.
Right.
No, that's another disaster. Before you read this, our guest another disaster when I had, speaking of big girl. So, you know, y'all know I'm very heavy on top, you know, no shame in it at all. So
ain't no shame at all.
This guy asked me, you know, what my bra size was. And I wouldn't have been offended by it if the thing he said before that was hello. Okay? Like, we hadn't even got into a conversation. It was like, hello, how big are your boobs? You know?
Wow.
And I was like, I don't understand. Like, I was just trying to, like, he was like, why does that matter? You know, you want to get to know me, or you just want to know how big my boobs are? And he was like, no, you know, I want to get to know you. He's like, but answer this for me. Can they suffocate me? Block. I'm like,
he was trying to creep into another part of your world.
He was trying to
right.
Some of those, but so yeah, that one just came up in my head. I forgot about that one.
So you got a good story for us, Fee?
I do, and I'm going to go ahead and vote that this one falls under the disaster umbrella. So this person asked to be anonymous, so I'm going to anonymously share the story. Hope y'all ready. Okay. So it says, I met this guy off Tinder, and he said he was in the Air Force overseas, and he was fine. Well, eventually, over the next few weeks, he asked me for some money, but he was asking me to send it in different forms, like a gift card. And that's when I finally put 2 and 2 together and realized that I didn't think he was who he said he was. But when I was first talking to him, I sent him some naughty pictures. They were not full nudes, but they were titty shots and ass shots. Well, after I found out that he wasn't who he said he was, I blocked him, and he came back a month later confessing that he was an Indian guy from New York. And first he was trying to scam me and realized I didn't have any money like I said I didn't, but he had caught feelings for me. But then he proceeded to tell me because I wouldn't send him any money that he leaked my photos that I sent him to Instagram, and he screenshotted it and sent them to me and said, if you send me money now, then I will erase them. But it had my face cropped out of them. And I told him, since they weren't full nudes, I don't give a fuck if they're on the internet or not.
And this is how you treat people you caught feelings for?
Right.
Damn, dude, I'm glad you didn't fall in love with me.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
started off
reacted the same way. I'd have been like, fuck it, tag me.
You know, we hear stories like horror, especially horror stories about meeting on dating apps and stuff all the time. And this just goes to prove they're not stories. They're not just being made up. These are people experiencing this shit in real life.
Yeah.
I mean, Catfish is a show for a reason.
A whole show. And it's now another spinoff in a whole nother country. So yeah, it's real.
It's real.
It's really real.
And the thing is, those stories, yes, they happen. But I guess I don't want it to deter anyone from at least giving it a try.
Oh, no.
Like, if you are online dating and, you're frustrated because you're not meeting anybody, because ain't nobody, I mean, just to be honest, ain't nobody will come up to your door, knock on your door, and ask you on a date.
Right.
It's not going to happen if you're not out and about meeting people. And right now, with COVID and monkeypox and all that stuff, people aren't out and about as much as they used to. So this is pretty much the main way you're going to meet and interact with people and date. So
and just be honest.
The horror
and when you find they're not being honest, just
and that's how it's so easy. Like, you can disconnect from somebody, so easily. Like, my cutoff game is just like, hey boo, to who this, within 24 hours. So, but there's been success. Like, again, if you just want to get your fancy tickled, go online. There's plenty of people that are offering good quality dick.
Well, I have a story from a friend of mine. I don't have all the details, but this is a lady that's probably 8-9 years older than I am. She's like in her mid to late 60s. And she dated for years and years and was on and off the dating apps. You get frustrated, you take a beat, go back later. She eventually met the love of her life. And he was from Virginia. So I guess he came up here and maybe they, got into their relationship, and then they got married and she moved to Virginia, and she says she's never been happier than she ever has. They met on Match.com. It saved them time. There was a distance between them. So it saved them from having to spend a lot of money on travel on something that may not have been worked out or may have not been safe enough.
Right.
So that's a success story.
Success story like that. Another friend who met her husband on Plenty of Fish years ago. And this was before Plenty of Fish got kind of ratchet.
Yeah, he did that.
It's a little ratchet now. But they have both just gotten out of, nasty marriages, bad marriages, and met up. And they actually got married like within a year. Like, it wasn't even a year they had been dating. And they're still together. Adopted, a little girl, and living awesomely now. So, there's some successes out there. You just, sometimes fishing for those people takes a little bit of patience, but it can happen.
So just to, because we just about at time now, but just to wrap it up, like, look, man, keep it real about what you want. Keep it real about what you don't want. Be open. Like we said in episode 9, be open to different things. You might find that you like something, a quality in somebody that you didn't realize you didn't realize you were even looking for. And yeah, just, be honest. If you just want to fuck, put on there.
No shame in it.
No shame at all. Because we are now at a point in our lives where, like I said, we've been around the block a time or two. So, it's really, you got to start like like we were talking about in episode 7, I believe. You got to speak up for your orgasm. You got to speak up for your relation. You know what I mean? Like, you got to speak up for, you know, if you want a healthy, happy sex life, whether it be with multiple people or whether it be with one person, like, you got to speak up for what you want, period.
Look, at my age, I think I deserve a different piece of booty every night if I want it.
Right.
Put it in the air. Put it in the air.
And sometimes, you know, they're just... Hello?
Yeah. Yeah,
you know, and I've been told...
Hell, at my age, I deserve that, damn it.
I've been told, why don't you act your age? How many times am I supposed to act at my age? I think I'm doing a really good job. So don't let your age be a hindrance either. I don't give a damn if you're 72.
Right.
If you can rock it, rock it. Don't worry about what all your rummy friends or whatever the hell else card games you're playing, or your bingo ladies. You see them sitting at bingo with a big smile on their face like you're doing.
Right. They out here.
Yeah. You can tell once somebody...
Now remember, for a small fee, I'm helping with profiles.
Yes,
so hit me up.
Hold on, fee froze. We may have to chop this one up.
For a small fee. I am offering help with profiles. So
we got you back.
Yeah, I'm here.
Lost you for a second.
We've been having technical difficulties, and with my lips, I've been having technical difficulties talking. But yeah, it's all good. It happens. This is how you know it's real.
Right.
So, yeah, we are super past time. Anybody, anything else that you want to add? Tips, tricks, things to remember?
Get out there and have fun sexually. Seriously,
that's
what your
the
age is.
thing. Have fun.
You know, no minors or whatever. We're talking 40 plus, but do not let your age be a hindrance on you. There's somebody out there. When they say there's somebody for everybody, it's more like 5 somebodies for everybody. Get out there and find your 5 somebodies, and then
they don't have to
on the weekend.
They don't have to be your age either. I'm just saying.
They sure don't. They don't. Older or younger. I've had them both. I sound like a hoe.
I love it.
What did we just get out saying?
I think we ought to normalize #slut puppy. We should normalize that.
Normalize the slut puppy.
All right.
All right, ladies. Well, we're going to go ahead and get ready to get on out of here. As always, if you have questions, concerns, you want to weigh in on the conversation, you can hit us up, info@4freakygirlspodcast.com. Hit us on IG at 4freakygirlspodcast. What else? TikTok don't seem to like us too much because we be putting too much sexual shit on there. But hit us up on there anyway if that's what you do. We'll get back with you. As always, Freak Elites, we love you. We appreciate you. Thank you for joining us.
Like, share, and subscribe. Tell your friends. All right, Freak Elites, keep it freaky. Until next time, peace, homies. Bye.